Welcome back to another episode of the
Friendship University Podcast.
You know, the podcast where we come here week after week after week. Do y'all want it? I really feel like you really don't want it. See, now if we take it away, then you're going to be like, you don't know what you got to
the podcast?
Where did you go?
Where you guys go? I was really starting to enjoy it.
But you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Well,
enough. Like, come on. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. If you did not catch the last episode, put it in your save history to watch later. Okay? We are a one-man band, two-girl band. Three-girl band. We're one-man show, really. We're really just one body working as somebody's the arm, somebody's the leg.
It's like Salt and Pepper and then Spinderella was back there. Spinderella.
Which she did not. Shout out to you, Spinderella, because you ain't nothing without that DJ in the back.
Period. And I was like, who is the third girl? Is her name N? That's what I thought growing up. I was like, Salt and Pepper.
It's not.
Really? I'm confused.
And I think the original was Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella, I think, was the original. And then, who knows? It could have been the record label. It could have been anything that was like, this is not marketable. We just got to do Salt and Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, who knows? But, yes, we are here for another week to encourage you, to grow ourselves, to grow you. And when we really pop off and it's become accredited, I don't want to hear I've been on since day one, and then we look back at them analytics. See, y'all, you don't understand that when you on the internet and you using the World Wide Web and Wi-Fi and all that, there are also back-end things where people can see. See, we know who our day ones are. We gonna know. And don't be trying to come in being like, yeah, you know, I always knew you would make it. Nah. Kind of, you sound like you're trying to spin the block. Just keep on driving.
Uh-oh.
Enough.
Uh-oh.
So, you know how we do. We're here. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Tara. How you doing today?
Fantabulous.
You looking real courageously cowgirl. I'm a cowgirl. Fully loaded. Looking like you have. All you need is the belt buckle.
Whoa, I got my boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Where them fans at?
Whew. Y'all, it's 4th of July weekend. Happy Independence Day, I guess.
Happy Easter, happy 4th of July.
I
hope you're happy with your birthday bean pie.
If you know where that is, drop it in the comments if you know.
Millennials.
Y'all know we already did our 4th of July on Juneteenth, so, you know. Enjoy your burger,
We still
though.
gonna barbecue.
Yeah,
you know
I'm about to say,
it don't really
still
matter.
go to that cookout.
We
still enjoy that
out.
burger. Enjoy
we still
that
finna
piece
eat
of
some
chicken.
potato salad.
Take that rib with that barbecue sauce and some potato salad and be on your merry little way. And you
What's your
pour...
ultimate summer plate? What's your ultimate barbecue? Like, what needs to be on the plate?
Okay, that's different. I was about to say, because summer plate and barbecue plate are different.
What's the barbecue? You went to the barbecue, but you went to the cookout. What needs to be on the plate?
Okay. All right. For me, and I'm going to just preface this by saying my plate probably is going to seem lame because I do not eat beef or pork.
Okay, there we go.
Which really cuts me out of majority of barbecue.
Of most things.
So, ribs out. If you really fancy, brisket out.
Woo! But I don't even eat beef, but some brisket.
I've never had brisket.
I might eat some brisket one day a year.
I've never had brisket.
What? Don't have it, because then you'll want it.
I'm going to eat. I told myself one day I'm going to eat a steak.
It just melts in your mouth. It just falls apart. See, I was in...
This
ain't Texas. I was in Texas. Woo! I was in Texas. I used to live. And that's my first time eating brisket.
And that you just fell in love and that was it. You was like, oh, I ain't never had nothing like this. Because y'all do cookouts in Chicago?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you all a slide city, so you have to be doing some kind of get together
we
with
outside.
People shuffling.
Yes, we slide.
Okay.
Casper, that's us. He from Chicago, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
the
really?
Casper side?
I did not know that.
He came to my high school.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. What were we saying?
Take
Okay,
it low to the flow.
plate. So for me, honestly, obviously it's gonna be some chicken.
Okay. Some barbecue chicken.
Some barbecue chicken. I do
Smoked
like
or barbecue, because my brother-in-law smokers.
I actually could prefer sometimes because I don't know
with
if
some
the
apple
men's be
chips, pecan
tired.
chips.
The men's be a little tired from cooking everything else. Y'all sometimes be letting that barbecue that
Too
chicken get a little crunchy.
dry.
It's a little dry. It's a little overcooked. So smoked chicken for sure. I have seen people put some turkey wings on the grill. Delicious. Now size is questionable also for me because I could go for baked beans, but did you put ground beef in your baked beans? Because now if you don't put ground beef in your baked beans or pork, I'm not eating it.
Okay,
so now no ground. It depends. Beans, no beans.
You could do some smoked turkey in there.
You can do some smoked turkey. I appreciate that.
Turkey bacon.
Got it. And I know you don't want to do that, but you could do some smoked turkey or some ground turkey. Now, I will go for the potato salad, but who made the potato salad?
Who made the potato salad? That's what I needs to know.
Who? I gotta know.
Did they use Hellmann's?
What did you put in it? Your eggs, your potato. Like, did you season your potatoes before you put it in the salad?
I need to know.
I have to know.
I need to know.
So I could go potato salad.
Did you use red potatoes?
Did you use red or Idaho or what kind of potato
what are we doing?
Did you use? Or did you just use out of potato?
Whatever was on sale.
Or was it like I'm adventurous and now I put a sweet potato in there and now what? I have to know. So that matters. Then I'm gonna do some bread. If you have some bread there to go with my chicken, some white bread. I can go coleslaw, depends.
Okay,
depends on what I'm
depends.
Eating. If you throw some fish on the grill, I can go coleslaw. I can go coleslaw with or without. But yes, so my plate is very bland. What about your plate, though?
Okay, so I definitely want some baked beans. I want some baked beans. I would like mine to be, I don't really eat beef or pork, but depends on how bad I want the baked beans. I will just act like I don't know what's in it. Okay? I don't know. How bad do I want these baked beans?
You know why?
Because the potato salad got to touch the baked beans. It's the salty and the sweet. The potato salad
and the baked beans together is a fire.
It is a match.
It is a combination made in heaven, okay, for sure.
So I will also do some smoked chicken. I will also, I'm going to need a piece of brisket. I don't even eat beef. But if I'm in Texas, woo, I'm going to need some brisket. Just a little, just a little.
Touch your palate.
Taste the piece.
Salty up the palate.
It's like when I go to Jamaica and I'm like, I don't eat oxtail, but give me them oxtail.
Now, granted.
I'm going to need them oxtail.
Granted.
I don't even need beef.
That oxtail, you do be calling my name.
Give me the oxtail.
Because I did eat some oxtails growing up.
Okay, so I'm going to need a little piece of brisket. I'm also going to need, you know, when I lived in Texas, for some reason, it was always like a fish fry happening at the same time.
Yeah, it happens.
So it was
like
some fried fish.
It depends on where you are in the South. That be happening too. That's why I said you get some fish, I can go some white bread coleslaw.
Okay, so if I can get a piece of fried fish on there as well, along with some coleslaw, a deviled egg, or
I forgot about the deviled eggs. Now I am gonna load up on the deviled eggs
and a piece of watermelon. I know that's black. I know it's very black, but I do want some watermelon.
The only reason I don't go watermelon or fruit salad is because normally it's been out and it's hot. And I like
No, we keep ours covered and it be inside. And then so for the dessert,
I didn't even think about dessert. You really taking it up a notch. Okay, first before you go to dessert, rib, no rib.
No, I don't really eat ribs like that. And I've let go of the ribs. But that brisket, or if I'm back in Chicago, burnt ends.
Okay. I learned
which is
about
basically rib.
Yeah, I was about to say that's rib, and I learned about burnt ends from my southern friend in Alabama.
Listen, brisket, you get you
I was
some good
like, burnt
it
ends.
literally, like my brother-in-law, he can make, shout out to my brother-in-law, he can really cook, like, for real. Smokes all day long. He's out there all day. Crack of dawn with the meat on the grill. Okay.
Love it.
So it's falling apart. It's literally like falling apart.
You took me to a barbecue place the first time
was
I
good,
came to
wasn't it?
Texas. It was good.
It was
and you
good.
got brisket, and I ain't gonna hold you. It looked good. It was falling apart, and it had like a brine on the rim of it. And I was like, that looks like
I
some
don't
good
eat
meat.
beef, y'all, but that brisket be calling me. So yeah, that's my summer play. For dessert, I would like some banana pudding.
Okay.
Or peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler, banana pudding. I can
I'ma
go
need
peach cobbler, banana pudding.
Red velvet cake.
I don't like red velvet cake.
I love red velvet cake. I love, or strawberry cake. I mess with a strawberry cake.
I can go strawberry.
In
I
Texas,
really like pound cake.
I love a pound cake. But in Texas, where I would live for a number of years, there's a place called, I don't care, I'm calling them out, Cake Bar. And they had,
Cake Bar is delicious. I've been to Cake
They
Bar.
had a key lime cake.
Delicious. That crust.
Chokehold.
That crust
For
was
years.
good.
For years.
Delicious. And
Delicious.
I'm not a big sweets person, but that cake was good.
I am a sweets person.
Good.
I am. But yeah, that is my summer plate. I like a little fruit salad.
I like a little fruit salad.
A little deviled egg, a little bit.
I also have not been,
Potato salad,
be honest, I also have not been to a
barbecue.
lot of barbecues with watermelon. Now, they may have fruit salad.
Fruit salad
but
got
they
the watermelon
normally
in it.
have watermelon.
Got the watermelon
I mean, it may
in
have
it.
watermelon in it, but it's just not a whole watermelon they done cut up.
No, we
and
be
put to the
cutting
side.
it up, the watermelon.
Yeah, no.
Have you ever put some lime on your watermelon?
Lime and a little sea salt.
Listen.
It changes the game.
It tastes like a Sour Patch
I love it.
candy.
I love it.
So healthy snacks. Listen, I got a sweet tooth and I have to find a way to meet my sweet tooth without eating refined sugar. And that's one of my favorite snacks. And if you want to know more about my favorite snacks, ask and I'll let you
Just
know.
ask. A little chocolate covered strawberry.
Yes.
If you don't mind the carbs, another really good sweet snack if you have a sweet tooth is some bread. And you can get good bread like Ezekiel bread with some peanut butter and cut up bananas and a little bit of drizzle honey or agave on top and some cinnamon.
My favorite summer, yes, that is delicious. And also my favorite summer snack is mangoes with
Tahini.
a little bit of tahini.
Let me tell you, have you ever had the actual cut up mangoes from the Mexican cart?
Yes, with the chimney, with the sauce on, the red sauce on it.
It is a game changer.
Delicioso.
When I tell you, there are different cities have their things, and you gotta respect it, cause there's certain things that even though I don't eat everything, it's certain things that you be like, I respect that. Like in LA, they be having the hot dog carts outside of the event, and you be like, and they be putting the Hispanics be putting all the onions and stuff. I'm like, ooh, that smells delicious. Shout out to you. And
Summer
they be out there with
snacks.
them fruit carts. I will tell
Them
you,
fruit carts.
I will tell you, I so appreciate being in a city that values that kind of like food truck culture, because we don't really have a lot of, I'm not aware of a lot of food trucks in Atlanta. I mean, we have food truck parks, food trucks pop up here and there, but when I tell you, baby, here, they out.
They outside.
If I took you to Capitol Hill right now, the food trucks would be up and down that block for at least a mile.
I love it.
So, and they out there every single day, no special occasions, just there. We got one Jamaican man be doing the jerk chicken late at night. He be open till like 3. I be having to stop myself. I'm like, and I don't even really eat chicken like that no more. But I'm like,
when I was in
that
Jamaica,
jerk chicken, baby.
and
he
that
served
man,
goat.
curry goat.
Yes.
That man took me to the side of the road. He's like, this is where you get some chicken from. And he was cutting that chicken on the tree stump.
Yep. It's the side of the road. The men on the dock doing the salt fishing ackee.
Yes.
They literally catch it right there, grilling on up, chopping on
that
up.
chicken was so bomb. Fire.
Man,
Delicioso.
delicioso. Let
Summer
us know
snacks.
what your summer plate is. Your barbecue plate.
What must you have? What do we
What
miss?
must you?
You know,
What did we miss?
sometimes somebody makes some macaroni and cheese. You know, they throw that off up in
That's
there.
true.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
seen a macaroni salad too.
Macaroni salad, a little macaroni salad. What's y'all favorite? Like what y'all?
What y'all putting on your
What
plate?
must
you
be on the
leaving
plate?
off? What are you paying attention to? Who made? Does it matter? Cause see, if you bring in macaroni, I also too gotta know who made the
Who
macaroni.
made the make? Who made it? Who made it? Who's responsible?
Period. So, you know how we do. We go into our icebreaker, another game, another week. She's always surprised because I
never know what's
coming up with the game.
happening.
She never knows what comes up. Maybe one day I'll let you.
Can you
on.
let me run the icebreaker? No. You have to be.
Who knows? You can do it.
Okay.
I mean, I just be trying to take stuff off your plate.
You're
you
so
know,
kind.
She's already sacrificing so much to help me with this dream. I just trying to not put more on your plate, even though she like, give it to me, I can take it. I don't like to overhaul people. Even though I overhaul, I feel like sometimes.
You do your best. You do a good job.
I'll try my best.
I try to help, and if you tell me no, I'm moving on.
That's true. You'll ask.
I'm ask.
You may, depending on the topic, you may ask a second time just for measure.
If you tell
But
me
you
no,
don't
I'm
ask
through gambling.
past that, she'd be like, okay. I asked. That's it.
That's it.
Moving on along.
I'm moving on up to these
It's not
side.
mine. We're going to do another round of Finish the Lyric.
I hate that game.
You hate it. You did so good the last time. You redeemed yourself.
I don't feel like I did good, but okay.
You redeemed yourself the last time.
All right. All right. Let's see. Let's see about
I mean,
this.
when you're in the hot seat, maybe next episode you can
How
come
about
up with
I
your
give
own.
you a song?
I was about to say you can give me songs.
No, we don't have to wait till next episode. We can do it right
Okay.
now.
Go ahead.
No, you do yours first.
See? It's like how you y'all see what I'm like, okay, go ahead. Okay, I'll do one thing. You want to do one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Let's see. Which one do I want to do? Okay, we can do that. I'm trying to think of the beat in my head.
Okay.
When you come into his presence, lifting up the name of Jesus, and you hear the music playing, and you see the people praising.
Just forget about your worries.
Let your troubles fall
It's not my time
behind you.
yet.
Yeah, I'm singing with
Oh,
I
don't
pause
you
it.
wait another minute. Just get up
on your
and
feet. Just get up on your feet. Is that what it is? What is
just
it?
get. I need a note.
When you hear the people praising and you, Jesus, don't forget about you.
Just forget about your worries. Let your troubles fall behind you. Don't you wait another. What? Just get up and on your feet and get to dancing, praising, jumping, something. Let the shouting, make it loud and make it glorious. That's all I got.
You see? You did good. You knew that. I tried to
they
set
played
up
that
and let you
out.
find your man. What?
They played that out for
Martha Menenzi?
for 3 years straight.
She was like a phenomenon in the black community.
Taylor
It was like,
Swift.
Yeah. I was like, girl.
She was everywhere.
Everywhere. Her and her siblings. You okay?
All
See,
right.
You did that. We'll do one more. You have one?
Yep.
You wanna give me one? Okay, go ahead.
Like sweet morning dew, I took one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my destiny.
For you, I spend my time. I'll dedicate my life. I'll sacrifice for you. Dedicate my life to you. Gotta love Jones for your body.
That's
and skin
the new
tone.
school.
I know, but I went it in.
in.
I need to
Goodbye.
Dun, dun.
You're all like sweet morning dew. Yeah, they ate that.
Yeah. You wanna do
Very
one more?
good. You did good.
You got
You're
another
good at
one?
this.
Ah. Why you got?
I'm just joking.
You did
Go ahead.
good. You literally did good. The last one round that you felt, you had to get your groove. Get your groove on. Okay, we'll do one more. You did good. See, you knew all the words. Every single one.
The pressure.
It's getting worse. I know you're going to know this. This is like praise and worship leader.
Okay.
You're like, how great.
Are you real? Are you for real?
Relentless is the Father's love towards
You gotta
us.
sing.
Breathtaking, the beauty and the radiance of you.
Is that an Israel?
Majesty,
I live to see something.
your face and be
Transformed.
into your image.
I don't think that was one of my favorite songs.
Probably not.
I don't.
But I remember, did we not sing that
I
a
don't know.
lot?
I don't remember.
That is a while.
2 years ago.
I get it. I've always done that a lot. I should have did Angels Cry. We lift up our hands.
Something.
We lift our hands in praise to your name. But what y'all singing at church now? I be at church
Girl.
thinking like, oh, these some new songs.
Girl, for real.
And I be trying to listen to the Spotify and the Apple Music playlist to see what's hot, but they really don't be giving it to me.
I don't know. I be going back to the old school
I
sometimes.
really can't let the old school go.
Can't let it go.
It really does something to my spirit now. It's like I hear it on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
It don't hit the way it was hitting back. It like hit different now.
Because you're older. been through some
some
things.
things. I'd be like, man, let us know what your favorite, if you were to play this song, what would be your favorite songs to bring up. Next episode, you can bring me some songs. How about that? Not
I shall.
Indubitably. Anyway. Well, I hope you all are waiting for the next episode because she's probably going to keep me on my toes and give me the hardest song she can ever think of known to man because...
It's payback time.
You know what? Let's just go to something a little bit more positive now. Y'all know what side of the classroom we're going to right now.
1, 2, 3, 4. Artist. Corner. Artist.
What?
Corner.
Who you with?
We in the corner. With the artist.
Yeah. I'm going to get me a little small drum pad to put right here real quick.
I won't
You'll
allow
never be
it.
able to stop me.
I won't
You'll
allow
never stop my shine. It's my music. Duck. It's my music.
That's my music, man.
It's my music, man. No. Dun, 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 dun.
He bumped that man off.
He bumped him
piano.
off that piano. It was like, no. I feel that. Sometimes you be like,
A
no.
heart is a house for love. And I've learned that it don't take much to break a heart. Build it up, build it up.
Build it up. Ooh.
If you don't know where that's from, you have some history. You need to go to history class.
You need to go to class, okay? On this July 4th, go to your Black History class.
and watch the 5 heartbeats.
The 5 heartbeats. And the Temptations. temptations.
And the temptations.
Because she's
and Jack
David
to 5
Ruffin,
and these are the temptations.
temptations.
Ain't nobody come to see you.
You want to know what's funny?
That wasn't in the script.
It wasn't, but also too. Otis is the last living member, and he was just on the J
He
Hill
had
show.
the last laugh.
So people really were coming to see. He had the last laugh. He who laughs last. Man,
He said that was not in the script.
That man said he looked at him like.
He said he doesn't like it when he said. He said that's the point.
That's the point. He said, Blue, how you feel about that? When I tell you some of the best stuff is probably off script, they be talking about that was not in the script.
Oh my God.
There was
ain't nobody come to you see you.
Oh, buddy, what's his name? Tay Diggs said in Brown Sugar when Nina Long slaps him. Not Brown Sugar.
Oh,
is it Brown Sugar? No, Best Man.
Best Man. That wasn't in the script.
That wasn't. And
he said he was mad.
Slapped him for real.
He said he was mad.
Said he was mad. But it really, on screen, it really presented itself.
He said, Leon said, he really doesn't like it when you do that. This is the real guy. He's like, he's not supposed to like it.
What that level? Sometimes I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes I be like, Lord, can I get a godly glimpse of that level of arrogance? Just a little.
But he said he's not supposed to like.
Cause
he
that
had the
level
swag.
of confidence
Leon got a
is
swag that's like unmatched. But you know the episode of Fresh Prince when they at school and that big Anglo-Saxon girl pushes Carlton into the locker. They didn't know that was happening. That was gonna happen. They didn't tell him she was gonna do that. So their reaction was for real.
Yes. I remember they had old buddy from Justice League. What's his name? Not
Yeah,
Justice League.
Tay
Love
Diggs.
Jones. No.
Not Tay Diggs.
From Love Jones.
Love.
And he aging like fine wine.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Lance.
His name not Lance. I don't know. I can't think it off the top of my head, but I know it's not Lance.
Not Tate. Somebody Tate. Never mind. Anyway, we know who we talking about.
Yeah, he was in there very young. I saw that too. I think
Lorenz Tate.
Lorenz Tate. That's it. Yup. Shout out to you, Lorenz Tate. I know you're married, but I just want to give you your props, cause baby,
for looking good all these years. That's so funny.
That's what get minding your business and being about your
drinking your water,
and being about your own business gets you for sure. I think off script really does produce some of the best things you could ever.
Yeah, for sure. Because
even certain things that Angela Bassett has said she's done off script or like made it her own.
Wow.
I think the people, when you're a purveyor of your craft and you're like in it. And I hear a lot of actors say they become that, like that character is a life of their own. They become that person. Mm-hmm. It has its own mannerisms. It has its own things. It has its own way that it would present itself, the way that they would act. Yeah. Like even Regine from Living Single, and she was like, I never would have played that character, and I never really wanted to play that, but did it, and now
it's she like, didn't want to play Regine.
No, she was like, I'm not like that, and I'm not this person, and what do you mean? And then she talked about the wigs, and she was like, the wigs weren't a part of it. She made it a part of it because one, she didn't want to have to be worried about her hair every week after week for the episodes, because we're hard pressed to find people who can do African American hair for some reason. Like there aren't African American stylists out there who can actually do African American hair, but that's neither here nor there. So that point she didn't, and she was like, I don't want to do braids because Sinclair had braids the whole entire series.
She did.
Don't want to do braids.
Who was doing Queen Latifah hair? Why couldn't she just do her hair?
Queen Latifah was doing her own hair.
Queen Latifah could do her hair like that.
I mean, I think in later seasons she had a stylist. But if you think about some of the early seasons, it was either pressed. She had like braids.
But she did a good job though.
Yeah, for sure. She talks about sometimes her mom would do her hair. But yeah, and she was like, and the wigs kind of just became fun. They became hats. She was like, they became hats for me. And I just was
Wow.
like putting them on, and then just, and sometimes she would purposely make them look like it's a
Wiggy.
wig.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to be funny.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do we have for artist corner today?
Artist Corner. This episode is going to be about finishing more than you start. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you are multifaceted, also when you have a lot of thoughts in your head, we like to call that ADHD or all kinds of stuff. I don't want to put a label on anyone. I don't want anybody to claim anything because I'm a proponent of your words shaping your world. So be mindful of what you're claiming as your own
Come on.
versus what is just a circumstance in the moment. But yes, when you have a lot of thoughts and you're doing a lot of things, sometimes you can start a lot of projects and it's just like, I have this over here, I have this over there. Maybe one day I'm doing Legos and the next day I'm doing puzzles and then the next day I'm into plants and then the next day I'm writing books and then the next day I'm writing music. And
That
then
sounds
the next
very
day
exciting, actually.
I am watercoloring and the next
That
day
sounds
I'm
like a grand
doing
time.
yarn.
Sounds like camp.
Right? But what did I finish? Now I have all these pieces of things that I've left and put time into and energy. And I really just have not seen something through. And I think there's something to say for you seeing things through.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it does help you to continue to see things through.
Builds your confidence.
It builds your confidence. So we
sure.
talked about last episode with the same thing of documenting the process and how it can help like build that confidence, and you can see journaling and different things and just look back and be like, I overcame this hard thing, I can do it again, I'm facing another adversity. This is not nothing, I'm not new to this rodeo. See what I did there with the Jean? And she's like, cowgirl, I'm a cowgirl. So so I think finishing more than you start really means committing yourself to the journey of start to finish, which sometimes is hard. Sometimes it's easier to move away from a thing and start something new than to finish what you started. Whether that be it's difficult to finish it, you're encountering obstacles, or maybe it's painful to finish it. I've had situations where I've started a story and I get midway through and I'm like, this is hard to document. Because maybe it's a personal story. And I'm like, oh, this is ugly. Like, I don't want to keep writing this. But it could be for a purpose. And then me finishing it lets me know that I can have something that I'm committed to. That I know, like, I have the ability not just be all over the place, even though I have multiple thoughts and you could be multifaceted and an interdisciplinary artist or whatever. It doesn't mean that my work has to be scattered. You know, like, I think there's something to be said for the fact that when you think about some of the most successful people, they've oftentimes venture outside of what they originally started as.
So true.
But they finished what they started first. Then they, and even in that process, they may have started to work on other things, putting their hands in pockets where it needed to be, but they made sure that what they started at the core got to its finish point. Then they can move on. You know, it's like, I think about like let's take Beyonce for instance, because you've got the outfit on. If we think about the fact that if she would have came out with a country album to begin with, would she have been as widely received now versus have and finished and started her trajectory the way she started, being committed to building her audience, being committed to artistry and being like, okay, I built this fan base who trusts me, who knows that I am going to produce a body of work that I feel confident in, that I've spent multiple hours in. You see what I'm saying? It's just like finishing it doesn't just build trust in you, it builds trust in your community too. I can't tell you how many people I have followed on social media and they start stuff and then they just on to another thing in a couple of months. And it's just like, well, okay, I don't want to really follow you anymore because why are we all over the place at this point? And there's nothing wrong with having your hands in multiple pockets and wanting to do a various of things, but let's just be honest, like the attention span is already so sparse. You can only focus on something for so long. And if you have multiple things happening at the same time, like for cooks, for instance, out there, which is why I feel like chefs is very much so a skill, because it's so much going on in the kitchen at one time. You have to like be well versed. But I would think about like if a chef had to throw something else in there outside of the cooking aspect, what would the food come out like? You know what I mean? What do you think?
I agree, and then but I also have experienced things as well that there's a time and a season for everything. And I think we've talked about this. As an artist, you might start a thing and you might write songs and those don't come out until years and years later.
Yeah.
And so whereas you might want to be this machine and say, all right, I wrote this song and it needs to come out next month, it might not be the time. And especially as a believer, like I have done things where God is like, hurry up and wait, gang. Like, hurry up and do this. And then I get it done and it's like, okay, I'm ready to move on. And he's like, no. And I'm like,
well, I don't think finishing means to have to produce it and put it out there. I just think you should finish it.
Finish what you start.
Finish
and it
what
might,
you start.
And it might, but in that, we have an idea of what that should look like. And then we might need to reevaluate what that looks like. I've heard people talk about like when they create movies or television shows and how long it literally took like 10 years to create a movie. And it's like, when I think about that, I think about how impatient I can be. And I'm like, 10 years you've been working on the same project for 10 years. You've been working on the same project for 8 years. You've been working on the same project. That is like the stick-to-itiveness, the determination you have to stick with the thing over years and years and years and to finish what you start. That just takes a lot of faith and a lot of determination
and willpower, really,
and not to just give up on it. And I think what you're saying is to like, no matter how long it takes, no matter what that process, the ups and downs, you run out of money. It's so many times we've seen where even as Robert Towns, he talks about
money, talks
about how he ran out of money and he had to put the rest of Hollywood Shuffle on a credit card, on his personal credit card to get it finished.
Went into debt. You know, we were just talking about the 5 Heartbeats. When the 5 Heartbeats came out, it was not this cult classic, you know. It wasn't a smash office
it was
box
not
hit.
A smash.
He didn't even make his money back.
He didn't make his money
at the time.
And so sometimes, you know, that experience doesn't pay you back right away, you know, and it just really is a labor of love that you did something that you believed in. And so I love that you're talking about finishing, because sometimes you just run into so many freaking obstacles,
man,
trying to create art, especially as an artist, or you know, you're just doing a podcast, you're doing this, and it just takes time to find the right people. You know, it takes time, especially if you don't have all the money. It's easy if you have all the money and you could just say, hey, pay. But honestly, human capital, honestly, even if you got a lot of money, it's still hard finding the right people.
Which is true.
When they say good help is hard to find, this is not on every street corner, just everywhere, where you have like amazing people that are, you know, considerate, that take their job seriously, that, you know, appreciate what you're doing, that value the vision, and will come in and, you know, co-produce with you. So like you might have to wait to meet the right person and God to bring the right person, or you might have to wait for the funds, and you might have to wait on the right timing in the right situation. Maybe somebody wants to present you an opportunity, but it's just really not the right opportunity and you have to pass. And it's just a lot that's involved. But finishing what you started is saying, okay, I'm still not going to let this go until it produces what it was meant to produce. And I don't care how many times I have to get back on the horse and try again and do it, tweak it, and do a little differently. Show up, and learn from the last time, that you're going to keep going. And so that's what I got out of what you're saying, because sometimes that process can be lengthy
Yeah.
and filled with a lot of transitions. And we like to be like, boom. But sometimes I heard Kevin, it's a lot of Kevins out there.
There are.
The Kevin you like?
Kev on stage?
Kev on stage. Shout out to Kev on stage.
Shout out to you.
He said it might take 10 years to get to the 1 year that changes everything. And people like, man, where you been? You just popped out of nowhere. No, I didn't.
Overnight success is 10 years in the making.
It's like I've been doing this, honing my craft, working on myself, learning, doing this for little to nothing, doing it for free.
Looking ridiculous. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
He was, working a normal job, or so many people who have been homeless, because they were after didn't have the money, didn't have the funds.
Lord, I don't believe that's you.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's not gonna happen to you. But I'm just saying, so many people have made huge sacrifices for their
because
dream.
they believed in it and they were willing to take it to the finish line.
Yeah, no matter what.
No matter
what, and it paid off for them. And so, all these things may come up. When you hear Tyler Perry's story, he talks about how many times he did plays and they failed miserably, like rented theaters and nobody came, and he got talked about in all this, and all the things he went through to make these plays. And then for them, it took like years and years for them to finally start to do well.
Yeah.
And he didn't quit. And it's just like, it always goes back to who just didn't give up.
Didn't give up. Yeah. And when I think about finishing, that's what I think about.
Yeah.
Not giving up.
Not giving up. Not giving up and not quitting on yourself. Even if you take a break, even if you have to regroup, even if it didn't work how you thought it would work.
Yeah.
Even if the path changes and it seems to be coming together in the way that you didn't imagine, you're still committed to your dream of, producing certain things, and you haven't let it go. So
I love that you brought up the obstacles and it taking time, because sometimes it can take years and years and years to finish a thing, which is okay.
It's okay.
For sure. I think that, it takes 9 months to make a baby, to grow a whole human being in yourself. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, from a 10-minute act, most times. So,
just got that.
So, it's like to think that overnight you can just create the atom bomb or create these things.
And we want this overnight stuff, but it's just
so
like
microwavy.
It is, and to if you want to stay there, there's some character things that are in place to be able to last there. It's just like that conditioning of showing up when nothing's popping off, which means y'all need to subscribe. We work very hard to produce this for you. You have no idea. Share with your friends and family, and subscribe and support people who are trying to make family-friendly content to help us have better friendships and relationships and become better people. Commercial break. But it requires just quite a lot of stick to itiveness, resiliency, determination to day in and day out show up. It can feel like rejection.
That's a good point.
Like, no, if
That
you're
is a very
rejection
great point.
adverse, you're like,
That's a
oh, my
very great
video
point.
didn't do well. I'm not doing that again. Oh, my first 5 videos. You know, I've seen YouTube channels that say, you know, he's a YouTube expert. I think Mr. Beast, he was saying, you know, come talk to me after you've done like 100 videos.
That makes sense.
He's like, I really don't want to hear anything about this not working for you until you have at least made 100 videos. And I was like, wow,
Wow.
at
Yeah.
least. And he was like, now I can tweak and now we could talk about what you can do better. But until you've made 100 videos, we're not even going to talk about this. So I think there's a quote that says, the world makes way for an idea whose time has come.
Yeah.
It's like there's a timing to this. And we've talked about that in the past, that,
Yeah.
you know, there's a timing to certain things in life. And it's your job. I believe that God will position you, you know, to be in a place so that when that opportunity comes, you know, you're already
You're
there.
ready for it.
Like when Ruth
Yeah.
was in the field and then Boaz had to
Yeah.
come. Like you're already working and then this opportunity comes to you. And so, but if you weren't already positioned when that person, oh man, sorry guys, when that person came through, you weren't where you're supposed to be.
I think that ties into, though, things taking time and going to the finish line. Because
Yeah.
if you're continuously working on it and you're taking it to the finish line, sometimes the God timing meets the position you're in, which is on the way to the finish line, that to push you towards there.
Yeah.
So for me, I definitely agree too that tying God into it, if you're working towards the finish line, your goal is to finish what you start, God's going to meet you eventually to push you towards that line. Like get you over the finish line to wherever that is. For sure. Yes, that's good. I love that you're so knowledgeable. You're just so wise. Y'all, I figured this week we could talk about conflict resolution. You know, we don't like conflict. We don't like confrontation.
Some people like conflict.
That's true.
Some people like the drama and the chaos and
I
the arguing.
think, okay, hot take on that. Because when you hear something like that, you're like, oh, that person likes conflict. Immediately, you're probably thinking they like drama, or they just like to be confrontational, or they like to argue, whatever. But I will say it's dependent upon the scenario and the setting.
Okay.
Because the greatest leaders run into they are welcoming of conflict.
Yeah, I can see that.
Meaning confrontation of the problem.
Yeah.
Versus adverse to not.
Conflict averse.
Right.
Avoidant.
So it just depends. If your friend just like arguing, then that's not.
It's like,
the
is
same thing.
everything a debate? Every single thing.
We'll talk about that in a little bit because I'm a debater and I
You
had
do.
to
You calm down though.
very much so. The Lord,
You brought
the
it.
Holy Spirit,
You brought
was
it way
bring it around town, like calm it on down.
Yeah.
Because everything, cause also too, you just get older
your
and it's just
battles.
like I don't even have the energy. For
I
this.
don't have it.
I have
Think
dealt
whatever you
with
want to think.
enough in my
Run into a wall
life.
if you
can
choose.
If you want to think this, then
Think whatever you
okay,
want.
whatever. But I thought it would be good to kind of have a conversation around healthy and unhealthy courses of action.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
you're dealing with your friendships and handling like conflict resolution. So let me ask you, when you have conflict in your friendships, how do you like to address it? First of all, to you, what do you deem as conflict?
comes up as like a disagreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, here's the thing. It's so funny because my norm, my natural way is just like, I don't want to say think whatever you want to think. That's your business.
Not my
But
problem.
honestly,
That's just
that's
not
not
my
my problem. Not my
problem.
problem. Like, if you think that. But the truth of the matter is, if I care about you and I love you, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
what you're going down the wrong path, and I feel like what you're doing may be harmful or harming, doing more harm than good, I feel like as your friend, it's my duty to address the thing,
So
right?
conflict may not always start off with you having a physical problem with someone, like in the physical, but the issue or what they're doing or their
Yeah, like
actions.
we're talking about something and you really believe this is great, and I
Mm-hmm.
perceive it as it's not great for you. It's going to end up harming you in the long
Mm-hmm.
run, which I'm concerned about your well being.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, you're going to come back to me and say, well, why didn't you tell me? And I'm
That is people's favorite line. I'm like, even when you do tell them that, it's
like you probably wouldn't listen to me. But as your friend, I have to be able to say, well, I tried.
yeah, for sure.
Right. But honestly, I don't like to fight.
No.
That I am just not that. That is not my.
You're very non-argumentative.
I really am. I
You
really
like
am.
peace and
I
copacetic
like
vibes.
kumbaya, my lord,
Yes,
kumbaya.
very
But
much
the
so.
truth is, in relationship, you have to be able to say, for your well-being, I have to be able to tell you the truth,
Which is healthy.
even if you don't like it. Right? And so my idea of conflict is being able to, is having to stand in the truth that I know you might not like, and we, have a difference of opinion on things, on a situation, on behavior, yada yada, and I have to be able to say, I'm not always right, but this is what I believe,
Yeah.
and and be able to stand my ground on the situation. So, if what was your question? Your next question?
After what you deem as conflict,
Yeah.
how do you handle if you see a conflict arise with a friend or even in a friend group, whichever you prefer? How do you approach that and handle it?
Depends on the conflict.
Okay, true.
Um,
Situational.
I'm not often triggered, but sometimes every blue moon you hit a thing and you're like, this drove me nuts. Like this thing, you feel like heat miser, your body start getting hot.
Do you tie in triggering to conflict sometimes?
Yeah, because it's the more triggered you are, probably the more conflict you have, and
Yeah.
so a lot of times I can get ahead of it. I can
Mm.
foresee and feel myself being like, this is about to bother me,
I need to back
and
away.
I need to end it in the conversation. So for me, I really think that before it gets out of hand, I can end the conversation. And what I've implemented is like, now after I've seen like certain things bother me, now that I'm more outspoken, because I used to just think what everyone think. I don't run into
That's
a
true.
wall. Okay. You want to jump off a building. But as your friend, I have to tell you the truth. Like, you're jumping off a building. And I'm like, nah, I have to argue with you about you wanting to jump off. So, and I could be wrong. Maybe I want to jump off a building. You're trying to stop me. I don't know. But, I used to just be like, whatever. I'm not. My name has been in. I'm not in it. But now it's like, now that I'm more outspoken because I'm not averse to conflict like I used to be, or scared of people's negative feelings. Now I'm just gonna tell you, just feel how you're gonna feel. And now that is the case, I have a two
Okay, what is that?
That's like, and I didn't make this up. I don't remember where I got this, but
I never heard it. So let the people
if
in here
I
know.
say something, something, and you say, no, it isn't, and I
Okay.
say, oh, yes, it is, one exchange. That's, oh, yes, it is. No, it isn't. After that, I'm done. Okay, we agree to
Okay.
disagree.
Huh. Okay.
So an argument would be like, well, no, it is. What would make you think that? That's this, that's that, or you this. So it keeps escalating. Now I'm talking about your character, or I'm talking about. We can stop it before it even gets there. Oh, I think this. No, it isn't. No, I think it is. No, it is. That's it. I'm done.
So you handle yourself and you remove
I
yourself.
end the conversation because
Okay.
we're not getting anywhere.
Okay.
It's only gonna get out of hand.
Yeah.
So I'm not dependent on you to, I'm not trying to make you wrong. Or I'm not trying to make myself, okay, we agree to disagree. Or I just see it differently. Okay, change the subject. I change the subject, I leave the conversation, I go do something. But it's not, okay, we're just not seeing this the same way.
Yeah.
So, Now if it's something that needs to be addressed, we'll just have to negotiate. Well, let's talk about this again in a little bit, or let's revisit this. Maybe when we have more information, or maybe we've had time to really think about it. Maybe when I can clear my mind and see other perspectives. But after that's 2 exchanges, I'm ending it. I'm deading it for a time.
I like that.
Yeah.
The 2 exchange rule. Can the 2 exchange rule kind of also be situational in the sense of if you say this is what it is and someone's like, instead of saying off the bat they're just adverse, no it's not, to I don't really think that, and then you say it again. I guess now I just answered my own question because I'm thinking about if they seem open to it, then that changes the scenario.
Yeah, that's different. But if they're not
Yeah.
moving and you're not moving,
No budging.
after those 2 exchanges,
Yeah,
I'm
that
not.
makes sense.
We're just gonna dead it.
That makes sense. And I feel like for me, conflict especially in the sense of where you're talking about where you have to bring something to a friend or like be like, hey, whatever situation or whatever happened, I feel a responsibility.
I feel it.
Here's the godly manifestation of that, because before I felt an unrighteous indignation of responsibility for it, which made me approach it in pride.
Okay.
Which is like, you're wrong, you're doing this,
You're wrong. You're just wrong. Yeah. You're wrong and I'm right.
Versus, actually, let's look at this from another side.
Yeah.
And I really care about you, and I really want to see you grow and do this, and
Yeah, now after I've said what I need to say, if you choose,
yeah, it's on you.
but you can't say I didn't try to help, or I didn't warn, or I didn't,
the blood not gonna be on my hands.
It's not gonna be on me. Now, what you do after that, and I love that. I love this for me. Boundaries will give you peace about a situation. After you did the only part that you can do that you're responsible for, it's not on you no more. I can't physically make you do what you need to do. And you can't physically make me do a certain thing.
Yeah.
Even God is like, okay,
there's
I warned
freedom
y'all.
in that mindset, though. There's freedom in understanding I've done what I can in my control. It's on you to do whatever.
It's on you. I can pray for you. That's it. That's about all I can do. After that, I can just pray for you.
Which is so true. I love you. Really, y'all need to pick up some boundaries books. Okay?
Boundaries.
Really...
Now you're not like stressing and making somebody else's stuff your stuff, and you're an empath and all this, and you're just taking on all these people's stuff. No. That's not your stuff. You warned, you shared, you gave, your input. After that, all you can do is pray and let it go.
Very much so. Very much so.
Now, I don't know what the
Some people get
situation
value
is.
though in picking up other people's things
Yeah, because
and
then you're not
carrying it.
dealing with your own stuff.
Woo-wee! Ring,
It's
ring,
like,
ring. Goes the telephone. There's no one home.
yeah, you all up in their stuff, so you don't have to deal with your stuff.
Man,
You're
that is
not slick.
true.
Focus on your
We
pack
know
your
how
own lunch
pack it up.
while you worry about my lunch.
That is so true, though.
Yeah.
I think that is such a healthy way to look at conflict in the sense of having to approach someone with a tough conversation or having to approach it. There is going to be some form of resistance.
And timing is a big.
Man, even the Bible says that a right word in the wrong time is just like a wrong word.
Come on, woman, God. See, that's why you're friend, because you know your Bible. You know it's your Bible. That's so true. Timing. If a person is hot, is it the time? Is it the time for you to tell them what they should and should be? It probably isn't. You probably want to wait till they cool down, till they can receive what you have to say. They might not just be right now. They don't want to hear none of that. They just might need to get it off their chest. I mean, and I have some friends that are like that. They're kind of more emotional, and when they are up in arms about a thing, it's like ain't no point.
Yeah.
Just let them.
I have friends like that too.
Let them get it off. Let them get it off, and then we can come back, pray for them. Come back and revisit when they're in a place to receive. Some people just want to. Well, I told them, but did you? The point of telling them is so that they can benefit, not just so you can say I told them.
Remember how, I don't know if you ever experienced this, but you would ask your parents something, they were on the phone, and then it was like, why would you ask me? And you do it because they said whatever, because they was on the phone. Like, can I have a cookie? Or whatever. And then they come back, why are you eating that? Well, I asked you. You know I was on the phone. I wasn't paying attention. I kind of liken that to the same thing. Like, you knew what you were doing to just get off your hands. You just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But was that the right time?
Yeah, and it's just about the focus being on others. Just like, how can I serve this person in this moment? It would not be the best for me to address this right now. Yeah. Even though I know it's not about you being right. You know, a lot of times like conflict is like, well, I'm right and they're wrong. But if they lose and you win, y'all both lost.
Y'all both lost. I remember hearing a long time ago someone saying, do you want to be right or do you want to be in a relationship?
Woo! Woo!
That changed. I was like, woo-wee. Because you could be right and alone.
And alone. And I've done it before. As a new Christian, you're very zealous, you're excited, you feel like everything is very black and white, and it's like you're just moving very sharply. And I've done it. I have messed stuff up because I was like, well, this is this and that's that and you're wrong and all that, and I missed the point.
Yeah.
And I had to learn from that and say, okay, you need to handle people with some sensitivity. Your relationships are worth your extra time and care.
Yeah.
And not being just
good.
Reckless and,
that's very good.
Moving fast. And I needed to get it off my chest and, all of this. It's worth your relationship with your best friends and with your friendships and your family, what have you. Significant others are worth taking the time and searching your heart and saying, oh, I don't think this is the best time. I can wait on this.
And I think so much of healthy conflict resolution is in timing.
It is.
That's very
it's
true.
Like, take for example, like when we're setting up and doing all this stuff, right? It's a lot of pressure.
The pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. We're under time constraints. It's a lot of resources involved. It's a lot of moving parts. And it's like, I can tell that she has a lot on her plate, right? So she might be a little more
Maybe on edge.
snippety edge,
Little
on the
short.
edge, short. That's a good way to put it. On short than her position. So I could let's say I'm having an issue. I could say, well, I need to just talk about it right now because I need to get it off my chest. And she was short me and that. And knowing her, me addressing it in that moment while she's trying to get something done would be silly, would be unwise, because she can only do so much. Her brain is on overload.
Capacity.
She don't have capacity to have a conversation about this. This is not a good time. But I could be focused on me and say, well, I just feel and I want to address it right now and I really don't care. It would be selfish.
Unwise, really.
Yeah, selfish of me to try to force her to address something in that moment because it's not a good time for her. And if I want real resolution, I'm considering the other person.
That is good.
I'm considering other. So
If you want, no. I don't think the people heard you when you said that. I need you to run that back.
if you want true and real resolution, you need to consider what's best for the other person. It's not a good time for her right now.
Because some people like to argue, and you don't want resolution.
You don't want, you just trigger. You don't care about what's going on with the other person, and then you just maybe later in the day, if it even needs to be addressed that much, then I'll say, oh. Now when she has time to calm down and think about other things, it's like, what do you think about this? Mm-hmm. I don't want to just more add one more thing to a full plate. You can see the fate is
great, and I just want to say I appreciate that about you. I just want to let the people know that you are so good about knowing my points, my trigger points, and being like, oh, she's up here right now.
Yeah, why would I ask you that?
Talk about this
for what?
Or even like you, which I think is so underrated. You just ask, hey, I don't think you say, can you have the capacity, but can we talk about this? Or do you have, like, how do you feel? Do you have a moment to, like, how are you feeling? Can we
You know what the problem is?
Giving the person the choice.
Yes, and we get common with people that we are close to. We get familiar with people that we are close to, and we think because we're so close, we don't have to treat them with a level of care and consideration, because it's like familiarity breeds contempt. Like it's like, oh, they don't care. That's just my best friend, and she's your best friend. She should get the best of you. She means that much to you. She should get your tenderness. She should get your best.
My God.
And we can do that. It's like when the kids act the worst with their mom, because they love them unconditionally. They love them the most. So they feel safe to just act a fool. And
worship now.
And I get it, because it's like, I know this person loves me. Like, I know me, the good, the bad, the ugly. I know that. But that's not an excuse to mistreat her, because I know.
Not an excuse.
Because I know she's going to love me anyway. Just like when we was talking about me being late a couple of episodes ago. I know she loved me, and I know she has a grace for me. But that doesn't give me an excuse not to try to do better, right? Like, I need to do better because I love her, because she's my friend, because that's my family, because they shouldn't be getting the worst of you. They should be getting the best of you. They love you the most. They pour into you the most. They care about you the most. I should be figuring out a way to take my time and handle them with consideration.
That's really
not
good.
Just, oh, they love me, so I can just be and treat them however, whatever. They're not going nowhere. It's like
just take it for granted.
Taking it, when you start taking them relationships for granted, the moment you start doing them jokers go down. I mean, take your butt down in 2 weekends. No, I'm just joking.
If
No, seriously, the moment you start taking people for granted, being unappreciative, they owe me, being very, what's the word? Where you take people for granted, entitled. You feel
Yeah.
like someone
You
owes you
should give me
something. You
this.
have to do this for me. It starts to go down. They don't have to do anything. They
Nothing.
don't owe you anything. It's like, be grateful that they're alive. Be grateful that they're around. You have the opportunity. They don't have to be there. And when you start not appreciating people in your life, you know, it's your relationship start going downhill. So that's
I agree.
something that we all have to keep in our forefront. Like, I'm grateful. When you appreciate people and you honor people, it just really makes your relationship so much better.
Wow. That's true.
Yeah.
And it changes the way you approach
Oh,
things.
yes. So true. Yeah.
Very much
It's
so.
so easy because you're in close proximity with someone to start just being reckless with your words and just saying anything to them and just treating them, like, oh, they'll be fine, and not doing those little things to show you care,
Yeah.
you know. And I know,
Especially if you started off doing it right. Because I feel like we forget that you have to finish the things the way you start them. You can't
yes,
start off being
yes,
gentle and kind
and
and
then
doing those,
just
and then just like, well, I got you now. I gotcha. Like, and you're never
got
gonna do
him,
it again. And you're never gonna do it again. Like, that's crazy.
got him. Yeah, you can't just do that. You have to stay. You have to continue to treat people with care. Just handle people with care.
It
I'm
goes
not.
back to that
Yeah.
caring and
Yeah.
love and doing it in love and really, really wanting to come, operative word, resolution here. Not
Yeah.
just conflict, but resolution.
Because you care.
Because
Because
you
you
care.
want to continue the relationship. If you don't care about the relationship, it's going to
Then that's
show.
different, right?
It's just going to show in your behavior. You could care less how your behavior affects the other person.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I agree with that. And I can also think about the way that you handle yourself sometimes can show
Yeah.
up in the way that you handle people.
Yeah.
So you may possibly actually care about somebody, but not handle them in the best way, especially when it comes to conflict, because you are adverse to it. You can be
Yeah.
conflict adverse, like you talked about with rejection, which I didn't even think about, which is a great point.
Yeah, conflict averse is a thing, a big thing that has nothing to do with the other
Yeah,
person and everything
absolutely.
to do with you.
Yeah.
And we talked about getting therapy at the end of the last episode. And some things, it just has nothing to do with other people. You really got to address your own trauma. It's really not about the other person. It's really about you being uncomfortable with negative feelings,
Yeah.
uncomfortable with people's anger, fear rejection, fear abandonment. If I tell them how I really feel, they might leave.
Maybe
You
not
know?
even being taught how to communicate well. Which a
Yeah.
lot of us are not really taught how to communicate well.
And if you grew up a certain way, maybe no one cared about your feelings. And that's just how you move through the world. You're like, they don't care when they do care. Just because you didn't grow up around that. So, yeah, you have to start to investigate why. If you know that you avoid conflict, the question is why. We always talk about getting
The
to the
why.
root.
The root.
The
There is.
root.
There it.
Let's just do a little.
Come on.
Little.
Come on. Just do it.
Where did the marker?
Oh no.
Oh, here it is. So,
He's sitting. He learning. Yeah.
let's just draw a little tree. Yeah. Your
Okay,
conflict avoidant is the fruit. Or adverse. Let's say adverse. That means you don't like conflict. Conflict averse is the fruit. Okay? Of a
Your tree.
deeper root.
So there's something that fed that down here. the soil got fed with that. Let's think about it like raindrops. Whatever rained down on you as this tree fed this soil. And this is what you produced.
So it's just like, if I know that I'm conflict averse, I need to figure out, go down and figure out why. Where'd that come from? Why am I afraid of conflict? Maybe I realize when I address conflict, I feel the feelings up in here. I'm feeling afraid. I'm feeling afraid.
And that afraid came from rejection when you were a child, because you had big emotions and nobody validated those.
Yeah, maybe I'm feeling unseen. Maybe I'm feeling unheard. These are the things that come up for me as I try to figure out why I'm feeling conflict averse. And your job is to go down here and trace this and follow this route all the way down until you figure out where that came from. What is my first memory of, conflict? What was I taught about conflict? What did my environment teach me? So environment. What did my environment teach me about conflict growing up? All I saw, did I ever see people resolve conflict? Or they just fought and one stomped out?
Did I see them argue about the same thing over and over and over again? It was never a resolution.
Did when I had conflict in my family, was it ever a resolution, or we just changed the subject? Did people punish you when y'all got in conflict? Man. They shut you down, shut you out. They don't talk to you for a few days. They don't talk to you for a week.
Disagreement, now I'm shutting you out. Yeah. Silent treatment.
If you got silent treatment, if you got cussed out, if you got certain things, that would definitely make you conflict averse, because you don't want that. You don't want to be right, Wardell. You don't want to be rejected. You don't want to be locked out. You don't want to be abandoned emotionally. So if I avoid the conflict, I avoid all of that. So it's very important to look at the fruit and feel your feelings that come up when you're like, man, why do I do that? Right? Why do I avoid conflict? I know conflict is necessary, but why am I avoidant to it? What comes up? Well, yeah, when I have conflict, all the times I know they didn't talk to me after I spoke how I really felt. And it's like, ooh, that might feel away for you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, where did I get that from? Where did I learn that from? When did that start? Oh man, that's how it was in my family, blah, 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 blah. Where is that the right thing to do? No, it isn't. What is the right? I don't even know what the right thing is.
Don't even know. Sometimes you don't know.
And then it may take you studying. It may take you getting some books. It may take you going to therapy. It may take you talking to someone about watching, podcasts or watching certain things where you can gather the information to learn a new skill.
Yeah.
So the way you've handled it in the past is to avoid the conflict. That's not really helpful. Where they talk about, the Bible says it's the little foxes that spoil the vine, which means it starts off small.
Very small.
It don't start off big.
Never.
And because you avoid it and don't address it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And now,
snowball.
And it's out of control. Now you've let it get to a point where it's a big, big problem. And so when it could have been addressed when it was much, much smaller, but you were afraid, you didn't want to be rejected, or you didn't want to be, alone, or you don't want to have this negative feelings. You didn't want anybody to be angry with you, whatever, what have you. And you didn't address.
Yeah.
And so now you have to go and address those things. So this is a process. Some ugly feelings might come up, and it's not about blaming. I want to say that it's not about blaming family. It's not about blaming friends. It's not about blaming your 4th grade teacher. It's about figuring out where it came from, how it started, so you can address it and learn a new way of living.
Yeah. That's so true. I love that. Man, you all, this is your homework assignment this week. This right here, I want y'all to make your tree. See what your fruit is when it comes to conflict. Are you avoiding? Do you go head on? Are you just take it at, I talk this way, take it as I am? And then
what's your negative fruit? Yeah.
Think
what
about
are the feelings that come up?
The feelings here on your stump. And then the root of where it started. Do that. Make y'all conflict tree. Baby.
So you can handle it. It's unavoidable. In every relationship.
It's just unavoidable. You're going to disagree.
You're going to disagree.
Period.
Yeah.
You're two human beings. Different. Two different human beings.
Yeah.
Even if you have similar value systems, similar mindsets, there will come a time where something is like, oh, I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're meant to always see everything the same way. We're meant to have different eyes to show us different perspectives. I truly believe that.
Learn from each other. Grow from each other.
Yep.
You really only grow in relationship. You might think
You are so true. Man, you own it today. My God.
You really think slice next best thing since sliced bread until you get in a relationship and you're like, I got some things I could work on.
I am a terrible person.
I need to do some healing.
Because it's a mirror. Relationships are really mirror.
Woo!
And I think a lot, we'll talk about that. Because
you really
a lot of times people avoid relationships because they don't want to
don't want to address themselves. They don't want committed relationships where they have to be accountable.
I'm just a loner. You're not.
You just don't want to deal with yourself and face yourself. And when you deal with other people, they're going to tell you about yourself.
They're going to tell you.
Or they're just going to drop you.
This was inappropriate. The way you act, the way you talk to people is not right.
Yeah.
So, y'all have your homework assignment. This was good to me. I don't know about you, but I have some homework to do, okay? Because as someone who is a debater, and I used to pride myself on being on the debate team and knowing how to theoretically debate, everything don't really have to be a debate. And the resolution, where you want to go, is really the end result. What are you trying to get from it? So, y'all have your homework assignment. You know what to do.
You know what to do.
We love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. And we will see you all next week.